Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back to part 8 of the RC Fugly build. In this video, I'd like to take you through how we balance the model and how we get the correct C of G position. My preferred method of doing this is to use the battery and the RX, for example, as ballast and actually shift the position of these about to try and get the best C of G that we can possibly get to avoid adding any additional lead weight to either the front or the rear of the model. However, this doesn't always work, but at least if we can get the sort of best position we can by using the equipment that we're going to install anyway, that will minimise the amount of weight that we're going to have to use. Now, if you've watched the last few videos, you can see we're getting to the end of the project, and all was left really was the installation of the servos and the electric motor, etc. So if I turn the camera around now, I'll show you exactly what we've done. So turning it round and zooming in on the tail end of the model, you can see the rudder there. The rudder servo has been mounted in the pocket provided in the top of the fuzz. You can see the control arm going onto the linkage, etc. Just a little tip: when you're sighting the linkage, this part here, the actual arm, what you have to do is to get the hole positions. You can see the 3 hole positions there. Get that in line with the actual joint. Try and avoid to get it sort of to the left or to the right of that. Just get it bang on the center. That will give you the best throw of that particular surface either way. You can also see that I've installed the elevator servo and the control linkage too. If I go underneath the model, you'll see how that is sighted. Again, get those 3 holes of the arm bang on the split line of the control surface there. Also, the tail skid has been fitted. The undercarriage has now been fitted underneath. Looks a little bit lightweight, but I'll just have to be careful on the landings. And underneath, you can see the servos being fitted there for the ailerons, obviously both sides. A little tip when you're installing servos, as you can see on these little micro servos, there's a screw at either side, left and right there. The best thing to do is to use a little pin drill like so. This one, it's a hand operated tool. Instead of using your electric drill, which is far too big, you can't get an electric drill in half the places you want to, so a little pin drill like this is absolutely perfect. I've got a double-ended one, as you can see, with the small drill at one end, slightly bigger at the other. I found that this combination of drills will cover most things on your electric models. So use that to pre-drill the wood, and then when you put your screws in, it won't split the wood. So that's just a little tip. If I come to the center of the model, you can see the servos for the ailerons through the covering there on both sides. Coming round to the front, the electric motor has now been installed, as you can see it in there. So it's all ready for balancing. What we do, or what I'm using, is a multiplex balancing machine. They cost yourself about 35 quid for one of these, but they're absolutely invaluable, especially on smaller models like this. They're probably good for a 120 size model. I wouldn't go much bigger than that, but that covers a lot of your clubs, your club style radio control planes, so that's quite good. The recommended C of G on this is 90 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing, which you can see this stop there touching the leading edge, obviously coming back 90 mil. That is your balance point. I don't know if I can actually show you on this. I don't think I can, but on the other side, reading the scale, on the right hand side there, it will be 90 millimeters back from there to the pivot point. Obviously set that both sides, pop your model on the top and see how it lies. Now what I've done, I've just dropped the ESC sort of at the front, because that's roughly, you know, where it'll go, as far forward as possible. I'm using a 2200 3-cell LiPo battery, which I've just dropped on the top, and I will be fitting a cheapo Lemon RX receiver there, which is a gyro receiver as well, so that will be quite handy on this model. Now I've done this little mock-up, I can see how the model is actually balancing. If I come down to the side, you will see that it's basically level. But looking at it, where the battery position is, I've had to move it right forward to sort of get it level. I actually like to have the model slightly nose down, and the battery will only be able to come up to this F2 former here, from there to there. So the battery will actually be a little bit further back, which means we're going to have to put some lead weight in the front. It's only going to be a touch, so nothing to be too concerned about. But by using the equipment that we're going to install, that sort of minimises the amount of lead. And I'm going to want the aeroplane in a slightly nose down attitude, if you can see that. I'm not sure if you can. Slightly nose down. That will give a perfect CG for its first flight at least. We know that the balance isn't going to be a mile off, and it will fly at that. Obviously we can adjust the CG when we've had the first flight to our own preferred tastes. So that's where we are up to now. This one will be the last in the series. I hope you've enjoyed it up to yet. What I will do when we actually come out of the COVID restrictions, I'll do a test flight and do a video of it and show you that as soon as we're let out to be able to go up to the field and have a play. So hopefully not too long. Hope you've enjoyed the series. If you have, please like and subscribe, and look out for the next build series. Thank you. Bye bye.